Psalm 23. God has set a table for two, one chair for himself, the king, and the second one, believe it or not, is for you. But of course, the enemy wants a seat at the table too. Anxiety wants a seat, envy wants a seat, worry and frustration want a seat. But don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Look up, go up. You're invited up the mountain of God. Move towards infinite power, splendor, love, and beauty, healing and restoration. When we gaze upon the Almighty, we are changed by the captivation. Empowered to take every thought captive in the battle of the mind. Shame is silenced by his glory, and our future redefined. So draw near to Jesus. The shepherd is good. Our God is faithful. Take the place prepared for you. And don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Marriage. Of course, marriage is not your normal bump and face kind of relationship. It brings both excitement and disappointments. If you find yourself married in community of property and often delayed in your business transactions and dealings, worry no more, because Masinya Attorneys uses the law to help you change from in community of property to out of community of property and vice versa. Call Masinya Attorneys today on 084 383 7747. We will sort you out with a high court application, and of course you get to keep your spouse. That's Masinya Attorneys on 084 383 7747.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in Solomon's Temple. My name is Solomon Izanga Shams. It's so good to be with you. And I hope you're having a great day. In Solomon's Temple, we look at all perspective. We look at angles that could enrich our lives when it comes to the Christian faith and other issues, So that's what we do here. So thank you so much. Thank you. Special thank you to my subscribers, people that have subscribed. I want to thank each and every one of you. Your support is really helping us to push this content, for YouTube to put this content in certain places, which is just really great. So please keep subscribing and also keep watching the videos. There are about more than 100 videos that you can watch, and keep watching, and make sure that whenever you watch a video, you see an advert, just allow the advert to play on. That's another way of really registering with YouTube, just so they can recommend these videos to other people who are looking for such content. So I want to thank each and every one of you, wherever you are. So where are you today? Where are you today? What's been happening in your lives? Let me see some of the guys that are here already. Yeah, I got Maluni Raphael watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you. Appreciate you. And there is also Aina from Namibia. My brother Tony, always here from the United Kingdom. Bongani also. Nicholas Bongani from Nelspruit here in South Africa. Boyd said, good morning, Malume. Good morning to you too. Malume is uncle, for those of you guys who are not familiar with that. Diane from the UK, thank you so much for the encouragement. And then Tony obviously is here. Said, may Jehovah strengthen you as you are embedded in the word of God. Bless you. Thank you. Poncho from Botswana. I see you. Also Ruth from Botswana. Got a couple of Botswana guys here. The healer from Perth, Australia, and also from Eswatini. You're here. Malebu is here. Choni is here. And we also have Folashade from Isolo, Lagos State in Nigeria. Linda is also here. Ntabiseng is saying, Saubo na Malume. Solomon, I'm watching from. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Judge, thank you. Appreciate you. And also, I want to say a thank you to Tahila, who just supported this work that I'm doing. With 15 Australian dollars, that is. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Tahila. This will go a long way in helping us to keep doing what we're doing. What I run here is a not-for-profit. It's an NGO. So I run this based on from my pocket or based on the donations that we get from people. So I thank you. Helen from Austria. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Anita. Appreciate you from Italy. Yeah. And yeah, appreciate each and every one of you guys. So just quickly, I want to look at an issue of a video that actually just went viral recently. And that's a video that happened somewhere in Ghana. The whole video is around holy kissing. You know, holy kiss. You know, is this holy kissing? Is this holy kissing? So it's we have to ask ourselves quite a lot of questions around this video. And this video went viral. And I think the fact that it went viral from a church by an action of a reverend father, a priest, a chaplain, he's a chaplain in the church. It in itself, it leaves a whole lot of question around the role of chaplains and priests and pastors. Some of the things that is done in the name of fellowshipping or in the name of religion. But if you come to think about it, if you examine it very well, you kind of like this is not appropriate. You know, we can do without really having such a scenario in the church, right? So it is totally uncalled for. I think what happened. Yeah, I know people are different and we have different intentions and all that kind of stuff. But this video in itself, let me just paint the background around for you. This big video in itself went viral. It came out of a place in Ghana, in the Ashanti region in Ghana. A school, that is called St. Monica College of Education. In Ghana, it's a tertiary education college where students are trained, and it's an exclusively female girls college of education. So college of education, for some of you guys who don't know, when you finish high school, secondary school, college of education is where you go and get a professional, you go and do a professional course and you get a diploma or you get a certificate, and then you get skilled also. So they train you also to be a teacher. A lot of the college of education is you're being trained to be a teacher. From there you can actually go and teach in primary school or do some sort of in preschool, get some sort of a bit of more experience and do that. And this school was started by an Anglican church. So it's not a Catholic church. It's an Anglican church that was started in 1930. And it has produced so many teachers, so many female teachers across Ghana. And Ghana in itself as a nation is one of the best African countries that has the best teachers. No. Ghana, I was trained by Ghanaian teachers even in Nigeria. They have some of the best teachers. There's something in the water in Ghana where they keep producing good teachers. But this setup in a college of education, exclusively female, and it was in the church hall. From what I hear, it was like a welcome for new members who has been converted, who have rededicated their lives or who have given their life to Christ, right? And then you have a male reverend father, a priest who is a chaplain, now welcoming them. And he welcomes them, and the way he welcomes them for me is with a kiss. Now we're going to talk about the whole kissing thing later, because there are certain cultures that accept kissing as a way of showing affection, as a way of showing love, right? There are so many cultures that do that, but there are other cultures that do not do that. And even myself, I don't come from a culture where that is done. But when I came to South Africa, there's a culture that does that, especially the colored people. And even I have one or two colored friends. When I say hello to them, you give them a kiss on the lips, which is, is just a way to show affection. It's just a way to show friendship. Obviously, you cannot do that now that there is coronavirus, right? But how far can we go? Is that permissive? Is that permissive rather? Is that okay for a leader, especially in a church, in a college of education where most of these girls are young girls, under 20, a lot of them. You can hear the screaming. For them, it was a show. It was like, yeah, it wasn't about the person so-called coming to Christ, but the kids from the chaplain, the priest to the girls. Obviously, you have these girls there. Their body is, they're young people, you know. So there's that thing about kissing that excites them. So let's watch the video together and then we'll look at it. It's a very short video. Okay, let's start from the top. Okay, so there's about 2 or 3 girls that would come. Watch the Reverend Father. That is him there standing. And also remember, this is very, very recent. So this was in the era of coronavirus, and you can see all of them putting on their mask. And I don't know why the priest would actually, okay, he can take off his mask, but then the girls are coming and then taking off their mask. He's asking them to take off their mask. So that in itself is not okay health-wise. You know, he can kiss them on the forehead. I understand that. But even on the cheek, he can do that. But to take off their mask, all right, let's watch it. So she comes, and you can see, lips to lip, and you can see the young girls are just screaming. And then the second girl comes, he takes off her mask, and then he kissed. And then the third girl, now she is not okay taking off her mask. You can see she's not okay taking off her mask. And he's trying to convince her, and then she took off her mask. And then you see the way he was kissing her. Let's watch that again. Okay, I'm gonna help you watch it one time because I just removed that. She was reluctant, very reluctant. So let's analyze it step by step, you know. So we have the, she comes, she's okay, and she's very nice, right? Let me just take it a little bit back here. Watch. Okay, can you see where his hands are? And that's the first problem that I have. See, one of his right arm is around her neck, on her shoulder. That in itself is a big problem. And then you see his other hand is going up to her chin. It shows that he was really into it. But this is supposed to be just a simple, you know, a kiss to show affection. You can see that, right? And then the second girl comes. See, his hand is beginning to go around her already. He's an Anglican priest, so obviously maybe he has a wife. Maybe he, you know, obviously he's not a Catholic priest where you're not expected to have a wife. So that would leave a whole lot of question. If he, maybe it was a Catholic priest, maybe people would say, you know, they are not, maybe some of them, they're emotionally, when it comes to any sort of affection, when, you know, from male to female, you know, that is not really there or is inactive and stuff like that. But he's an Anglican priest. You know, you call him Reverend Father Ricky. All right. He's putting his hand now around her neck. And then he kissed her. Now this young innocent girl came on. His hand is already, you know, right there on her back. And she is not familiar with this. So obviously for her it's very awkward. I'm not used to this. Or maybe this is wrong. This is not supposed to be this way. She couldn't even bring out her mask. And he's telling her to bring up her mask. He's reluctantly. He's telling her, bring out your knife before she brought it down. See the way he's pulling her head and he's taking his head down, and she's even trying to move out. She's even trying to move out of the way. Maybe for me, if his hands were just in front of him and he gives them a kiss, maybe that would be a totally different thing. But in this case, he's either playing to the gallery or he's intentionally violating these girls. These are young girls, and this is a strictly college of education. And you don't welcome people to the faith this way. It is totally, for me, it's totally unacceptable. I don't know about you. Again, like I said, if his hands were not going where he was going to, and if he didn't do what he did to the last girl, well, maybe I would say so. Maybe it's an Anglican tradition. Is it a biblical tradition? I don't really think so. But it's okay. But the way that he is so engaged in it as an older man to a young girl, these girls are probably 18, 19 or so, some of them even 17. That is definitely, for me, not right. Right? And this is the picture just to help you understand what actually really took place. Let's put the photo up here. So this is the photo, right? Watch his hands. In the first photo, you can see where his hands are. One hand over her shoulder to the other side and taking her head up via her chin to make sure he kissed her well. The second picture, the girl obviously isn't used to this, or she's not interested. He has to, you see the way he took his head down all the way. Yeah. There are calls for him to be investigated. And you are a chaplain of a college for girls. Right? So is that a holy kiss? What did Paul say about holy kiss? He said so to the church in Corinthians and also to the church in Rome, where in Romans 16:16, he said, greet one another with a holy kiss. All the churches of Christ sent greetings. Greet one another with a holy kiss. All the churches of Christ send greetings. Now we need to ask ourselves the question, what is a holy kiss? What is a holy kiss? So, for us to be able to understand a holy kiss, I did a bit of research just to try to break it down for you. This is what Paul kissing in those times meant. So, and kissing is a way of salutation, which is a way of greeting. Right? You meet somebody and you greet them with a kiss. There are cultures that do that. Where I come from in Nigeria, no culture does that. But here in South Africa, the colored people, the Zulus, the Xhosas, quite a lot of different cultures do that. So here he's saying the salutation here is not that of Paul, as if he had said, kiss everyone for me. No, Paul is not saying kiss everyone for me, but the salutation of the members themselves for one another with a sacred kiss of Christian love. It's a sacred kiss of Christian love. Sacred kiss of Christian love. You trying to force somebody, a girl who isn't interested, to take off her mask and kiss you, is that a sacred kiss of Christian love? And this is the part that we need to understand also. Here it says, such a kiss, that's holy kiss, such a kiss upon the brow or cheek, sometimes in both cheeks, or upon the hands, as it is in the Greek Orthodox Church until this day, was a common form of salutation in ancient times. It was brought over into Christianity by apostolic commandment and continued for many centuries, prevailing as custom in many places. So this is not even a kiss on the lips. What Paul meant in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, and also in Romans. But it's a kiss up on the brow, up there, or a cheek, or sometimes both cheeks actually, or even upon the hands. And especially for girls like this, if you would ask them to give you your hands and then you kiss your hands, they're actually going to feel appreciative. But you have this scenario, because sometimes what may seem right for the priest to do may not sit right with a lot of people. And there are certain things that we do sometimes, we know even if we do it, even if it's not a sin for us, even if it's not a sin, but just for the sake of people, for the sake of young people. A lot of these people are teenagers, and the way, their life is when it comes to romance, kissing, or sex, or whatever. They're just, in there. But you as a leader should consider not tolerating that, just so you're not going to be able to send the wrong message, because clearly they got the wrong message. You could see how they were jubilating and shouting and jumping. It's like entertainment. It was like an excitement for them. It wasn't because these girls made a commitment. No, it was because it was a kiss. So when I saw this video, I just said to share with you too, for us to really question a lot of stuff, because we can look at it over and over again, and everybody can have their own understanding of that sort of scenario. But for me, the best way to welcome these new believers in a college of education, where it is a female college of education, is to ask them to get your hand. They get their hand. Give them a kiss. Give them a kiss on the cheek. But no, you're telling them to take off their mask. That was the wrong context. And these are young girls. If it was older people, we understand that. But these are young girls. Very, any impression leaves a lasting, sort of like, picture for them. It is something that we really need to reconsider and see and ask ourselves, is this how we want it? Is this the way we want it? Because that's just important. That's just important. Very important. I don't know what you think about it. Let me see some of the comments here. Dr. Birth is saying the man was taking advantage of them. If it was a holy kiss, the girls would not have gotten so excited. Exactly. So that's another way to measure, to measure it and evaluate it. Olukayode Thomas said, even in Western culture, we kiss in the cheek. All right? Not on the lips. Dr. Bird says, sacred kiss is on the cheek in modern culture. Jamie is saying, this is not right at all. Not holy kiss. That's far from being holy. God can be mocked. Reality check. This is so-called pastors and prophets in Africa are crazy. I also saw one video that Prophet Nana Poku kissed a lady in the church in the name of deliverance. Yeah. So there's just a whole lot. That's just, we cannot tolerate that. We cannot tolerate that. Not in any way. If this was done in public, imagine what takes place behind the scene. Good observation there. Good observation there. Teresia said, hi, Uncle Solomon. This is really a joke. All these people should be exposed. Camo is saying, why are the church people jumping around? That man is just a predator. Real Deal says he's a pervert. Tehila Tembo says that's sexual harassment, especially for the girl who refused to take off her mask. She can press charges. Yes, indeed. Indeed. You're harassing her. You're harassing her. You're harassing her. She wasn't interested. Aina says we really need to consider that. It does not sit well with me at all. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me too. Brother Allen says that was wrong and it sends a wrong message. That's the thing. For me, it's about the message that it's going to send to these very impressionable young girls who are there and excited and jumping, and then now the video has gone viral. Trust them. Trust teenagers. They know how to make such videos, So it leaves you with a very sore taste, and we really need to look out for this. There are certain things that we cannot do, even if we think for us it isn't wrong, but it's fine. We cannot, instead of doing it in public, doing it in that kind of situation where we're supposed to be teaching these younger people a lot, where we're supposed to be protecting them. But I don't see how he protected them there, especially with the one that wasn't interested. And he had to ask her to take off her mask. Even when she took off her mask, her head was down and he was busy trying to pull her head. And then he was taking his head down to kiss her. Not right at all. I do not agree with that in any way. I do not agree with that, especially when it's young people like this. No, guys, the Anglican Church in Ghana need to really look at it and investigate it. If possible, take him away from that community of being with young girls. Send him somewhere else. Investigate it, suspend him, or teach him. Let him go through some sort of a training to understand that no, you cannot do this. This is just not right at all. This is just not right. But thank you, guys. I'm going to be back a bit later, but thank you so much. May we continue to keep our eyes open, and whatever we see, let's ask questions. Let's probe it. That's the way we can bring out truth.